What's up, guys? Welcome to Around the Pack with Kristen Lago. I'm your host, and I'm so excited to welcome you all to the very first episode of our show. But being that it is the pilot, I'm going to take a second to break it all down for you. As a proud USC alum, I will be the first to tell you that I think the Pac-12 is one of the most entertaining and, dare I say it, underrated conferences in the NCAA. And while a ton of other sportscasters will take the time to talk about the ACC, the SEC, even the Big 12, I want to talk about the stories that really matter, those going on around the Pac. And I'm going to do it starting right now. First up, we got to talk about former Pac-12 players who are making an immediate impact in the NFL. And though it pains me to start out with UCLA, I got to talk about former Bruins standout DeCaris McKinley. In his NFL debut, he only took 10 snaps on the line, but he rushed the passer on 8 of them and hurried the quarterback out of the pocket on the last 2. According to Pro Football Focus, he has the highest pass rush productivity of any rookie 4-3 edge player and should be a dynamic element of that Falcons defense moving forward. Next up, we're heading back to my roots to USC to talk about Adoree Jackson. Although he had a rough showing on Sunday where he struggled a little bit in off coverage, he has shown a lot of promise in this preseason. And in his punt return in the NFL debut, he rushed it all the way back for the touchdown, showcasing his dynamic speed and athleticism. Though that play was nullified, I think it really showcased that he can provide that dual threat on both special teams and on defense this upcoming year. Finally, we got to talk about Christian McCaffrey, the former star running back out of Stanford. He lines up all over the field for the Carolina Panthers, where we've seen him in the backfield as a slot receiver and on the sidelines as a wideout. He has 87 yards in 17 carries, averaging almost 5 yards per carry in the preseason, and he has the ability to power through defenders, make cuts in open space. Those things really made him special at Stanford and should provide that key spark for the Panthers this upcoming season. But speaking of his alma mater, the Stanford Cardinal, they opened their season last week against the Rice Owls in Sydney, Australia, and blew them out, scoring 62 points to the Owls' 7. Bryce Love really stepped into that void for Christian McCaffrey, where he rushed for 180 yards in just a half, averaging 14 yards per carry. Their quarterback, Keller Christ, really stepped into his own in that game. He dropped a few dimes, including a lobbed touchdown pass to Colby Parkinson in the corner of the end zone. And on defense, though they did lose Solomon Thomas, who was drafted number 3 in the draft in 2017, they brought back 9 defensive starters, and they held Rice to just 1 touchdown. Should be a dynamic team to watch this upcoming year, but they do have a challenge in their third week. It's their second game. They're taking on USC at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, which will provide them with their first true test. Now on to the USC Trojans, currently ranked number 4 in the nation. That's in large part thanks to their quarterback, redshirt junior Sam Darnold. Now, though Darnold did not get the starting role until Game 4 last year, he was a real momentum changer for the Trojans, leading them to a phenomenal and thrilling Rose Bowl win. They came back from a 14-point deficit in the Rose Bowl to beat Penn State 52-49. Last season, Darnold threw for 3,086 yards and 31 touchdowns. But he's not the only one you guys should be focusing on this USC team this year. They're also returning a slew of dynamic players on both sides of the ball. On offense, keep an eye on veteran pass catchers Deontay Burnett, Jalen Green, Steven Mitchell, as well as running back Ronald Jones, all coming back after great showings last year. And on defense, they return Cameron Smith, Porter Gustin, and Uchenna Nwosu, all dynamic and all but scary linebackers to go against if you're on the opponent's offense. And on the line, you'll see Josh Batu, Rasheem Green, and Malik Dorton, who will provide a strong upfront line to really stop that running game and rush the edge on opponents' quarterbacks. They should be a team to watch. I'm calling it now. They're going to end the season in the top 4, and you should see them make a championship run this season. But that's all the time I have left to talk about my former alma mater. If you want to see more, make sure you tune in next week for another episode of Around the Pack. We'll be breaking down the season openers this week. A lot of the Pac-12 opening up their season this weekend. We'll be talking about that Stanford-USC game taking place on September 9th. But if you're interested, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Kristen with 2 N's Lago, Kristen Lago, as well as GetSportsFocus. Let us know what you thought of this first episode, what you want to hear about, your reactions, all that good stuff. Just let us know on Twitter. But for now, I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Around the Pack. For GetSportsFocus, I'm Kristen Lago.